Howdy, this is Bubba from Bubba's Cruising Concerts. We're going to do a recap of the Dollywood Summer Celebration. We're just going to talk about the specific stuff.
It ended a week
It
ago.
ended, the 6th.
You're watching Bubba's Cruising Concerts. Like and subscribe.
There's really not a whole lot to talk about necessarily because
It was the same exact thing as
it
last
was.
year.
I mean, there was maybe one decoration that was the same, but literally for practical purposes, the same exact thing.
I think that's a good thing, though. I don't say that's a negative.
Yeah, I think it's.
People want something new, but you just can't come up with something new all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think like for this year, which was pretty much just the second time around, I think it was fine. Like next year, I'd like to see some different things.
If I had a complaint, it would be it's not long enough. I mean, it literally ends the summer celebration August 6th. And down here in the South, we've got 2 more months of summer weather.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, I understand you got to do your fall stuff. At least there's no reason not to do it through Labor Day, I don't think, or August, because
you could easily, and I don't know if it was a back to school thing or what, but
maybe it was the guy doing the bubble show couldn't do it long. I don't know, but heck, leave the foam pit out. I mean, the foam pit was a hit.
Yeah, and that was one thing I talked about on,
or the drone show. Maybe that's the problem. I mean,
could be. That's one thing I talked about on the Instagram was that there's a 6-week gap here without a festival going on. So you had
probably because
so you easily had room to go a week and not.
I don't know if it's they don't want to put a whole lot of focus on it because of school and sometimes people are starting different schools. School starts.
I mean, could be, but as far as the shows, did you catch any of? I know I caught the Color Many Colors twice. I didn't catch the 2 little kid ones, Violet the Pilot.
We did
and
the
train one.
We did the train one.
And you said your little 4-year-old liked.
Yeah, it was a big. There was a big attention boost from last year to last year. I mean, he just kind of anyway didn't care. This year he picked it, wanted to watch it, and sat through the whole thing and watched it, which is sort of a shock. So very silly, very kid oriented. I mean, it's adults are gonna struggle to sit through it. I mean, but unless you're watching your children or something like that. But I mean, it's definitely a kids show. But it was good. I mean,
But the Color Many Colors was, I thought, good. Like it was more adult. It was more for adults. I mean, it pretty much just told the story of the song. And one good thing about those shows is they're like 20 minutes long or something like that.
It was short. Get a good break in the air conditioner.
Yeah, so that's one of the pluses, even if you don't necessarily care about the show.
Oh, it was miserably hot when we were there.
Yeah.
I mean, like 95 degrees, air temperature, then with the heat index on that asphalt, I mean, I had to be in the triple digits, so it was hot.
I think this was the first day I've ever been at Dollywood, and I did not get a single bite of food. And it wasn't
just too hot.
Being cheap standpoint, which I sometimes get accused of. It's just the fact that when it's 97 degrees, I think most people don't want to eat. They just want to.
It never affects my appetite a whole lot, but I might slow down. But
and then we also got rained out too, so I would have probably got something if we wouldn't have got rained out.
I'm not sure it's another video, but have we done a Splash Country video?
We didn't really make any Splash Country videos, so yeah. I mean, I thought
I've got some from the first trip.
Okay, so we both went multiple days. Like I went twice, like 2 separate weekends. I went.
I did summer twice at Dollywood and the Splash Country twice, which was the whole reason I got the Diamond Pass this year. To try the Splash Country out.
And I did get rain checks, which we'll probably need to make a separate video about that. But
it's a good tip
when it rained. Yeah, so if they close the rides for lightning,
if the park is shut down for weather, yeah.
It can't just be sprinkling. But as far as
if you have a season pass, you're not getting a rain.
As far as the food, I thought the food was. I was a little disappointed in the food because, like the first time, in that it was pretty much exactly the same menu, and I think that loses some of the excitement of I want to try this out when it's like.
If you do the same exact thing next year, your things are going to get stale.
Yeah,
you're going to be. I've already done that. I don't want to fool with it to go.
Yeah, that's why I would like to see the bubble show change next year.
I mean, yeah, it's good and great, but the last half of the show is just lights and pyrotechnics, no bubbles hardly, and I don't know. It's I'm kind of over it, honestly. The guy's talented. It's great. It's cool. It's all the
I
kids
think
like
it's
it.
a
But
little
like,
long. It's like
yeah, it's too
45
long.
minutes.
Yeah, I think the last part could be cut out.
Yeah,
Because if you
and
got a show for kids that lasts 45 minutes, that's hard to pull off
yeah,
unless they're older children.
the Christmas thing's kind of odd in the middle of that. They play that Christmas song and stuff coming down, and they bring the kid on the stage, and I thought that was a little.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a good show, but like it's not after seeing. I saw it 1.5 times
I
this
saw it
year,
both times. Everybody,
and it's not like if it's next year, I might not even watch it.
if you're going with your kids, sit
And
close to the front because there's more bubbles closer in that you
yeah,
get, and they're going to like to play with the bubbles. Sitting toward the back, you get less bubbles, and they get less interested.
but I know another good thing that they do is that they do like the little parachute thing, Braxton, like that.
Which was
there's-
odd, the little over in the country fair area.
Yeah, they play the little liquid beats thing and stuff like that. So they really do a good job.
Mhm.
Um,
For us, the big thing is them tall enough to ride the rides, and which for that's nothing that nobody can control. But being able to ride, not everything, but
Yeah.
when you cross the 42-inch mark, it really opens up a whole world of rides.
and if you're going during the summertime, or at least for even the next week or two, the log ride seems to not be that much of a wait because it's kind of hidden.
It's not called the log ride; it's called
I can't even remember the actual
I
name.
don't know, but yeah, it's the log chute, some kind of flood. It's built like an old sawmill, like
Yeah. So,
yeah.
but but the drone. This was actually our first time seeing the drone show because we got rained out
Yeah, I
last
saw
year.
it. It was neat.
Yeah, it was neat for highlights. I wish I could have saw it again, but I think it got canceled the second day we were there again. So,
It did, yeah,
um,
yeah. It was definitely canceled.
but yeah, I know summer is probably your favorite because of your
Yeah.
kid from a
Do more
Oh.
stuff. Yeah, being able to do the water parks, the foam pits, and all that, the different summer activities, and now even the little tarp thing was neat. The fall is kind of cool, but like, I mean, it gets so crowded in the fall. It just takes away
the
from
fall
it.
is
The
crowded.
summer, it's not like no one's there, but I mean, but we were able to ride rides at any time we wanted to. But what we got into every time I went in the summer, we had a summer pop up shower. I mean, I went May, early July, and then late July, and every day had rain in the afternoons.
Yeah, that's just the South, I guess.
And it's hot that time of year, so yeah.
And the park does not hold water well because there's only one ride you can ride if it rains.
And boy, do not go to the wilderness hidden hollow thing, the indoor playground when it rains, because guess what? Every person with a kid in the park has that ideal. I mean, it is. You can't stir people with a stick in there. It's just packed. I mean, it was the second time we went in there. You literally couldn't hardly. I mean, it was just miserable. It was so hot. I mean, people and even our 4-year-old was ready to leave after a few minutes because you couldn't even move.
And you said you got to do Big Bear once.
I did it on my own while he was in Hidden Hollow or whatever.
And I didn't do Big Bear this. Yeah, I did. I did it the first time. But
I'm not against it. Just the line.
yeah, so like
it was a good ride.
But like
Enjoyed it.
if you come on Saturdays in the summer, you're not going to be able to. You're going to wait an hour if you get there really.
I did it
early.
right before the park closed after a rain delay shut down, and they shut everything down, ran everybody out of the lines, and still waited like 30 to 45 minutes for it. So
Any other other things to say about the summer celebration?
it was fun. I've done burnt all my bring a friend passes off, so we're out.
I got 3 left. So, but yeah, I like that. I like the summer celebration, but if I was rating it, I would say it was a little worse than last year, just because
the
it
news
was
wore off of it.
the same. So, so hopefully they'll make some small tweaks.
I don't think they'll make a lot of changes.
They historically have not made a lot of tweaks.
No. So, like and subscribe.